Hello, my name is Joey Shimmer. I'm a student at Southern New Hampshire University. I'm on the goal entitled Behind the News under the project called Credibility and Validity. I have picked some stories so as to be analyzed and see whether each story passed the IMVN test. So in this video, I'm going to discuss whether or not each picked story meets each of the credibility and validity criteria. So because when you are trying to analyze the news, you need to check the credibility, whether the news is credible or valuable. Then, so to check the credibility and the validity, there are some criteria that they need to meet. First of all, let me start the first story. The first story is entitled, "Vicious Assault Shakes Texas Town." So let me first see this news, the credibility of this news, and the source. Let me check the source of this news. So it is clear that the news is credible. This is because it provided more information about the situation while citing other sources. Also, it is from a sustainable company, and it was written by an experienced known person. Means that it is credible. So let me check among the evidence that was cited while just trying to provide this news. I can say when it comes to evidence, I can say that the writer talked about a phone video that recorded this scene. Additionally, the victim herself provided some additional information that strengthened the news. Means that it has the tangible evidence. So number 3, let me try to talk about the verification via the assertion. The information is verified with no bias. So there's no bias. This is because there is also another known company that wrote about this scene, the same story, and it was cited in the news. So looking at the authoritative, via the informative sources, let's try to look a little bit to authoritative. The sources presents expertise since it is information and was cited in the news. For example, the Houston Chronicle, Shayla, also they cited the Shayla Horizons, and Stacy Gallatin and Techila. These are other resources that they were cited in the same information. So about the named and unnamed sources. The sources named with an author called James Christian, and the article was published by the New York Times. Other sources that were cited also are named, such as the Houston Chronicle. Houston Chronicle, it's a great magazine that where we should trust the information coming from the same magazine for sure. So let us now see the second article. The second article is entitled, "Apple announces an iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, the biggest advancement in the phone history." So this is also another news that I need also to check whether it is credible, valuable. So let's start from the credibility of the news. It's clear this news is not credible, sure. It looks like an advertisement. It has been written for the interest of the company to sell more products, more of the products. No other sources that were used both from the customers and other companies. To me, the consumers were not cited, or other companies. So let me try to see the evidence. About the evidence in that is that There is no clear evidence or tangible evidence since the author is focusing on the site only, its site's own site. There is no content from people who have been using, the product and how they are satisfied. They don't just show how they are satisfied. Each content comes from the company and the owner of the company all, okay, all of them take about the product. To me, nothing, no any other resources from outside that check it. Let's try to check the verification vs assertion. This news is for being, the verified. Okay, it was written by only one source of information. Without testimonies from customers, there is no way of trusting the news. It presents biasness due to the fact of being one side only. It has one side. No different various sources that are testifying that this news is effective. Let us try to see a little bit about the authoritative, okay, and various informed sources. There are no sources in the article that should lead me to say whether they are authoritative or informed. There is one of the only sources that is article in under a team that works for the company. This shows that the news is authoritative, okay? Informed since the team seems to have much and enough information on the subject matter. So let me see the multiple via single sources. There are other sources cited in the article. Only one message from the CEO of the company was used in this citation. All other information is from the writer who is acting under the company. So let me see the named and unnamed sources. So about named and unnamed sources, I can say the article is named. Also, the writer is known as Apple Press Information. It is team. It is a team of the organization that works for the interest of the organization. Okay, let me go immediately to the third article. So the third article is entitled Grief and Protests Follow Shooting of a Teenager. So this is another article about the shooting of a teenager. Let me first try to check the credibility of this source. According to my understanding and my analysis and observation, the findings are I can say that this news is credible since it has used different sources of information from different people and companies that talked about the same subject. It has been written by people who don't have any interest in the news, which led me to say that this news is really credible. Seeing from different sources, people who talked about the same story, people who claimed about the same matter, there is the credibility. Secondly, let me hit the evidence now. So writers of this news used real pictures of the situation, whereby we can see a police officer with protesters. Also, they used a real comment from family members of the victim by mentioning them directly. This news presents good evidence. Let me see to verification and assertion. Okay, the fact of focusing on what the writer found, but also citing other sources and people lead me to confirm that the news is verified. Additionally, the news was produced by two writers, each with his expertise. So let me try to check the authoritative and uninformed sources. So the news is authoritative. This is because it was produced by an experienced writer first. Secondly, other people are also cited, and those people they seem to have really knowledge of the information. For instance, the police officers, a direct family member of the victim and other authorities, multiple single sources. Let me check them. Writers of the news cited other sources. For example, they cited, the St. Louis country people chief, also Job Balmar. They cited something like Antonio French, at city councilman in St. Louis, and Esther Haywood, a president of the NAACP in St. Louis country. So let me try to say the named and unnamed sources. So this article, okay, is named with the biography of the writer. To be the writer has provided his biography. It means it is well named, and all other people in the article are well named with the original names. With this said, we can understand that the credibility and validity grades. Okay, some others write news to attract people and gain and benefit from the news. Maybe they want just to attract it to impress others, but other writer and the others write in the form of advertising to gain the interest of the product. Experts write without any interest behind the news, that if done informing the public. We can see how some writers hid information and decided to focus on their own side, and they biased. However, the two articles seem to meet the majority of the criteria. The first article, the two article, which is the first one, the third article, which is the grief and protest photo shooting of a teenager, and also the first article, which is the vicious assault, Shakes, Texas. They meet all the criteria of credibility and validity. However, the second article, which is Apple announces iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, the biggest advancement in the iPhone history, it doesn't really meet all the criteria, since the author was biased and was only advertising on the behalf of the company. Thank you very much for having watched. It has been my pleasure just to present to you this information. Yes.